Hey everyone, so as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about Animals United. And for those of you who are my friend on Facebook and possibly on Twitter, but not so much on Twitter, you will know that I have been going crazy for this film. As soon as I saw the TV advert for Animals United, my heart stopped. It's really hard to describe, but I think out of the whole of the year, bearing in mind it's the end of the year, this is the one film I was looking forward to most. And the reason because of this is because of Billie Piper, but I will talk more about that in a moment. But I went into the cinema to see it today, and I only went in to see it in 2D. It is in 3D, but please don't ask me what I thought of 3D features because I didn't go in to see it in 3D, so I can't comment on that. But I don't think that's really a problem because, first of all, I'm not a massive fan of 3D because I get really frustrated that it's not brilliantly 3D, you know, there's not like stuff right in my face, it's just sort of a bit more... It's a tiny bit more 3D, I find. So I was actually pleased that I went to see 2D. Was it worth the wait? Because I found out like a month ago or something, and there was nothing online. There was no IMDb page. There was no information about it. The cinema listing didn't come up until the day it was released, which was the 17th. Today is the 19th, so it was like 2 days ago it came out. And I couldn't find any information. I had no idea what it was about. I didn't know who Billie played because there was nothing on IMDb. I did search Animals United and a page did come up, but it was like all German, and I'm like, is that right? But it was right, it is. So yeah, it was worth the wait on some levels, but there were a few things that irritated me as well. So for those of you who don't know, and I'm pretty sure you won't know providing you haven't seen it because, as I said, no information. It's about these animals, mainly animals in Africa. The water is completely dry. There is no water because there's a dam being built. So they try and get the water back. And it focuses on a little meerkat called Billie. And he has to try and go, he wants to be brave and get the water for the family, but there are loads of obstacles he has to overcome. And there's a sort of sub-story as well. So the animals in Africa are trying to get the water, but the big bad human people on their cruise ship have blocked it. And then there's also these other animals, and there's 2 turtles, there's a polar bear, a turkey, and somebody else. No, that's it. And they are trying to get, and a kangaroo and what I think is a Taz, but I'm not too sure. It wasn't referred to as that, it was just referred to as a creature on legs. So all these really random animals, you know, from the Arctic or the Antarctic, wherever polar bears are from, turtles, a kangaroo, and as I said, the turkey, which was just on a ship at one point. All these animals from different parts of the world travelling across the ocean in a boat, in a bath that they made a boat, and then landing in Africa. So these animals from all across the world are now in Africa and joining this quest to find this water. And I think that is the weirdest thing ever. And that is my main criticism. It really was not essential to have these additional animals because they didn't really add that much value. There's a bit near the end which I won't talk about much because I don't want to spoil it, but there's a bit with the turtles which was really beautifully done. That is the only benefit they had. The polar bear didn't have any benefit apart from looking a bit cute because she was gorgeous. The turkey annoyed me. And the others, they didn't really have... Yes, they added a few scenes, they made it a bit different, but the characters used for that, they could have just used normal African characters, normal African animals. So I think they were just sort of trying to pad the film out a bit and give it a bit more substance, but it was unnecessary substance. But the plot itself, the idea behind it, the fact that the animals, the humans, the big bad humans have blocked off the water supply and the animals are dying out, you know, they're starting to get really weak and they're dehydrated and there's no water for them, that is obviously a common problem because as a species we are the most selfish race of animals ever. Granted, there are some of us who care about animals, and most of us will care about animals, but do we care enough to the extent that every action we make, we wonder what the consequence is for an animal millions of miles away? So we are quite selfish as a race, and it is true that we are killing off these different animals. So the fact that they've targeted that is good. It is educational in that sense because it is universal. So it is for kids, and it is going to sort of educate the kids on what really goes on in Africa. Whether they take it in or not is a different story. I took my brother to see it. I don't know whether he understands the whole moral behind it and the fact that, you know, what you do has consequences for others. I don't know if he understood that, but even if he doesn't directly, it will be in the back of his mind subconsciously somewhere. So I really like the fact that it does have an educational message to it. as most animation films do, but there are some which are a bit weak in that sense. But that sort of makes up for the really random extra characters. But the African characters, gorgeous, loved them all. There was a lion called Socrates, and he was voiced by Stephen Fry. Gorgeous. He's very much like a cross between Mufasa and Scar from The Lion King. I really liked that. He was a really beautiful character and one of my favourites. The features, the detail of this lion is so beautiful. I thought he was brilliant. And then there was elephants and rhinos and buffalo and meerkat. There was loads of meerkat. And my favourite one, of course, was Billie Piper. She played a meerkat called Bonnie. And she was actually the first character to speak in the entire film, which I thought was cool because it was the first voice I heard. Got quite excited. And so she plays a meerkat called Bonnie, who is actually the wife of the central meerkat, Billy. And she obviously talks to her husband, Meerkat, quite a lot. So Billy is actually saying the name Billy quite a lot in the film, which is weird, because it's like she's saying her own name a lot, and it's just kind of really weird to watch, because you expect other characters to say Billy talking to her. So it's just really weird for a fan of Billie Piper to know that she's saying Billy all the time. There are other celebrities. It really is apparently a full celebrity star-studded film, and British as well, which I think makes it really good. And there's Don French, as I said, Stephen Fry, Billie Piper, James Corden, Joanna Lumley. They're the only names that come to mind. They will all be tagged in the below bar. But there are so many amazing voices in it, and it's really fun to sort of try and work out which animals are which. As I said, I didn't know who Billy was going to be playing, but she's actually the meerkat that's on the front of the poster. If you've seen the poster for it, where you've got the rhino and the buffalo, and there's a meerkat sort of blocking them like that, that's actually Bonnie. That's Billy's meerkat. So I thought that was kind of cute. But yeah, there's so many amazing voices to add to these really amazing characters already. So not only are they brilliant characters, apart from the really random ones, you have these brilliant celebrities and brilliant people and brilliant actors doing the voices for these characters, which makes it really good. So it ticks most of the right boxes. It's well done, well made. The plot itself, apart from the random animals, is really good. The characters, apart from the random animals, are really well done, really well rounded, definitely brilliant. Probably the strongest characters I've seen in a while. The character of Socrates, I think, is really quite powerful, because he wasn't the one they all worshipped, but deep down you could see that this lion had so much strength in him, emotionally and physically. And I just really admired the character of Socrates, and I've never admired a cartoon character before, so I thought that was kind of nice and kind of different. But obviously you guys know my favourite character was Bonnie. Quite annoyed because Billy probably got, in total, about 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes of time. She was like a semi-central character. She was probably the secondary character with the least amount of time on screen. So that was a little bit annoying, but it was still worth it. Still a really good film. Would I buy the DVD normally? Normally I would not. Now that I've seen it, normally I will not go and buy the DVD once it's released. But now, because Billy voices in it, I have to. It's just like a rule. If Billy's in it, I've got to buy the DVD. Would I recommend it? I don't know. It's a really hard one to call. If you're a fan of any of the voices, go and see it. It's not the film of the year, I can say that. It's not the best film ever made. There's not actually any hype about it. If I hadn't seen the TV advert, I wouldn't have known about it. Apart from the fact that the poster is on bins everywhere. The poster is stuck on the bins in the Merit Centre everywhere. But if I hadn't seen the TV advert with Billie Piper's name flash up, I probably wouldn't have given it the time of day. So now that I've seen it, it's good, but it's not one I would have went to have seen. Go and see it if you've got the spare money, or if you get a free ticket, or if somebody offers to pay for you. I wouldn't recommend going out of your way to see it, especially if you get frustrated easily. Because of those extra characters, they just weren't necessary, because the roles those extra characters played, they could have been done by other characters who actually belong, like the African animals and things. So that was a bit frustrating, but never mind. So yes, it is good. Go and see it if you can, but don't go and rush out and spend a lot of money and going to see it in 3D and things, because 3D costs an extra lot of money. It is quite more expensive to go and see 3D. And I don't think it's worth paying that extra amount. But if you're going to the cinema anyway, if you fancy going to see something, or you're a big fan of Billy or Stephen Fry or Don French or whatever, go and see it. But please feel free to leave comments and things and let me know your thoughts on this. If you have seen it,